Mexico is currently grappling with a profound security crisis. Recent weeks have seen widespread protests erupt across the nation. These demonstrations are a direct response to the pervasive violence and corruption linked to organized crime. The cartel's influence continues to destabilize communities. This situation has placed immense pressure on the government. Citizens are demanding effective solutions to these long-standing issues. The core of the current unrest lies in the state's perceived inability to curb cartel activities. Decades of violence have left a deep scar on Mexican society. Corruption within various institutions further exacerbates public frustration. Many citizens feel abandoned by the authorities. They believe the government has failed to protect them. This sentiment fuels the growing calls for accountability and change. A significant driving force behind these protests are Generation Z youth groups. These young activists are vocal about their disillusionment. They are frustrated with the status quo and the cycle of violence. Their organized efforts have brought thousands to the streets. They demand a future free from fear and impunity. Their digital savvy and determination have amplified their message nationally. The peaceful intentions of many protesters have often been met with force. Clashes with riot police have become a recurring feature of these demonstrations. These confrontations highlight the tension between citizens and the state. Reports indicate instances of excessive force used against demonstrators. Such incidents further inflame public anger. They also raise serious questions about human rights and policing tactics. President Claudia Sheinbaum has found herself at the center of this storm. Her administration's handling of the security crisis has drawn considerable criticism. Many question the effectiveness of her strategies. Critics argue that her approach has not yielded tangible improvements. The ongoing violence suggests a need for revised policies. Public trust in government institutions remains a critical concern. Organized crime groups, or cartels, remain a formidable challenge. Their operations extend beyond drug trafficking. They engage in extortion, kidnapping, and human trafficking, terrorizing communities. The cartels' economic and political influence is vast. This makes dismantling their networks incredibly complex. Their presence undermines the rule of law and public safety. The Sheinbaum administration has articulated various security strategies. These include efforts to strengthen law enforcement and address root causes of crime. However, the visible impact on the ground remains limited. Some policies have focused on social programs to deter youth from joining cartels. Others involve military deployments to high-conflict zones. The efficacy of these diverse approaches is under constant review. These protests have ignited a crucial national debate. The discussion centers on Mexico's security landscape and the government's role. Citizens are openly questioning the path forward. Political analysts are scrutinizing the long-term implications. The current unrest could reshape Mexico's political future. It underscores the urgent need for comprehensive and sustainable solutions. A central demand from protesters is justice for victims of violence. They also call for accountability for corrupt officials. The perception of impunity fuels much of the public's anger. Many believe that without addressing corruption, true security cannot be achieved. This sentiment resonates deeply across various segments of society. It highlights a fundamental breakdown of trust. The escalating situation in Mexico has not gone unnoticed internationally. Global human rights organizations have expressed concern. They monitor the clashes and the government's response closely. International observers emphasize the importance of protecting civil liberties. They also stress the need for transparent investigations into alleged abuses. Mexico's stability has regional implications. The ongoing violence has significant economic repercussions. It deters investment and disrupts local economies. Businesses and communities suffer from the pervasive insecurity. Socially, the crisis creates widespread trauma and fear. Families are torn apart by violence and displacement. The fabric of society is strained under the constant threat. Addressing Mexico's security crisis requires a multifaceted approach. It involves strengthening institutions, combating corruption, and fostering economic opportunity. Dialogue between the government and civil society is crucial. The protests, while challenging, also represent a demand for a better future. They signify a generation unwilling to accept the status quo. Their voices are a powerful call for change and reform. The Sheinbaum administration faces an immense task. Navigating these complex issues will define her presidency. The eyes of the nation and indeed the world are watching closely. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay informed.